Tonight, it's Live with Vince Elliott. Tonight on Live with Vince Elliott, musician Damon Terrell. And founder and CEO of F.A.R.M, Willie Bell.
What's up, everybody? It's Vince Elliott. We got a show for you today, but before we get into any of that, first I want you to hear this word from my good friend, Miss Ruby.
Number 5, stop telling your landlord you ain't got no rent because of COVID-19. Besides, they saw you down there at the ABC liquor store. Number 4, don't continue going into the bank with no mask on. You can't be the only one in the bank with a mask 3 months after the quarantine done ended. Think you won't get police called on you? Don't do that, sugar. Don't do that, sugar. And number 3, don't stop practicing social distancing right away. Especially all y'all close talkers with that toxic breath. Social distancing still apply to all y'all. Number 2, don't keep collecting them unemployment checks after you return to work. You know that is illegal, and they probably got a jail cell with your name on it. And finally, finalmente, as my Puerto Rico friend Jose used to say, the number 1 thing you need to be thinking about not when the quarantine is over is don't try to put on them tight jeans you was able to wear before the quarantine. Especially you ladies who were jumping up and down trying to put them on before the quarantine. Now you're at the couch weight, so you may want to give a couple sizes liquor.
That's my good friend Ruby. She is giving you the 5 tips of the day of what not to do when quarantine is over. I'm Vince Elliott, and oh man, we got to get right into it today, but I've got 2 guests today. I'm going to let you know who they are and why they're here today and what we're going to be talking about. But just before we get into it, I want to send you a couple messages real quick. Hey everybody, Vince Elliott saying thank you for tuning in. Real quick, I wanted to invite you to become partners with us and contribute to our success. Our success is your success. One way that you can do that is by subscribing to our YouTube page, The Vince Elliott. Click on the notification so that you are notified when we go live or upload new content. Secondly, please share this broadcast with your family, friends, contacts, Craig and them, Cud and them, share with everybody. Lastly, you can contribute to the success of the broadcast with a financial contribution of only $1.25 a week, $5 a month, or $60 contribution for the year by using the Cash App information that's on the screen, $ live with Vince Elliott. So thank you for helping us to bring information, education, inspiration, motivation, and yes, a few laughs to the world. Oh. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all I need some help. See, that's why y'all got to help me get some assistance over here. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go right ahead and introduce my first guest. My first guest started playing electric guitar when he was just a teenager. He went on to learn piano and bass guitar and drums and all of this. He's self-taught. I mean, I call him like, a mini Prince, he's playing all of these different instruments. And so he's a one-man band, in promo I said, the rubber band man. He has since taken his skill to the professional level. He shared the stage with people like Alexander Zonjic and the legendary artist Martha Reeves, Motown homegrown. He is, everybody knows, hey, that's where music started, right? That's where the real music started. So this gentleman is doing funk, Latin, jazz. He's a recording artist. He has released 3 albums. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. Hold on, you know, I got to get my my round of applause because I know that you all are clapping, but I just can't hear you, so I gotta help y'all out with a little, sound effect right there. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Live with Vince Elliott, Mr. Damon Terrell. There he is. How you doing, sir?
Everybody. How you doing?
Yeah, turn up so we can hear you real good. Let me turn the music down a little bit.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
There you go. So welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you coming on. I just want to let everybody know that I've been knowing this guy for several years, and I've had the pleasure of watching and listening to some of his great music. And I mean, it's just, it's been a pleasure, man. Just explain to people, about your style of music.
But the style, I say, is very unique. I think the style is very smooth, and I think the style is on point.
Well, more specifically, you say it's funk, Latin jazz. Explain that to somebody like me who just, I know jazz, I know funk, but funk, Latin jazz. Explain that to me.
Well, you can put just like you can put some little soul into music. I mean, if you take the music and you mix the two ingredients together, you can come up with something very unique, very positive, very strong, and that's what I'm doing like right now. So we can do the Latin and add some little funk flavor in there, and then you got yourself something hot.
Well, listen, let me say real quick to the audience. First of all, thank you guys for tuning in. Live with Vince Elliott. I'm on with Damon Terrell, funk, Latin, jazz recording artist. Been doing it for a while. If you haven't heard this gentleman, you're in for a treat because actually later on in the show, he's actually going to play something for us. But I want you guys to go ahead and say something in the comments. Let me know you're here, and make sure that you ask any questions that you might have. And, any comments that you want to, put in there, that's just, we're looking for that as well. So tell me now, you have been playing for how many years now?
Off and on, I'd say about 20 years, 25 years.
About 25 years, man. You've been playing since you were 5. I mean, come on, man. I don't see no gray unless you're dying it. But so you've been playing for about 20 years now. Where, I know that you've been, graced the stage with Alexander Zonjic and Martha Reeves. Have you, like played abroad or you're a local artist? How does that work?
Well, I played around town, around the city.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We played at places like local places like Hart Plaza, Shane Park. Oh, that's a nice stage there. I had to turn my back on the audience and just look at the water at Shane Park.
All right. So for those who may be watching from somewhere outside of Detroit, he's talking downtown Detroit. Shane Park is where a lot of concerts go on. It's off the water, Lake Michigan, that whole deal. So we got people checking in. I think this guy, Rufus Harris. You play out at his location. Tell us about that.
Oh, that's an awesome venue there. It's a nice coffee house setting venue. They normally have it every 4th Friday. We get called back every year.
What's the name of the location?
It's in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue.
Okay, it's called Ford. What is it?
Ford Community Performance Arts Center.
All right, come on, man. Are you there every 4th Saturday? Or are you there every 4th Saturday?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not there every 4th Friday.
4th Friday. Right. 4th Friday.
He definitely have different artists there every 4th Friday.
Okay. All right. So you play there periodically, or you've played there on a number of occasions, I take it, there. Yeah. Okay. All right. And so, that's Ram. Quick plug from my man, Rufus Harris, every 4th Friday out at Ford, was it Community Arts Center or something like that? In Dearborn.
Yes,
people know what it is. So now what would you say has been one of, your most memorable moments in terms of, your music career?
Memorable moments. Wow, there's so many of them, especially when I play with Martha Reeves. And I remember when I first hit the stage, when I first started, being on stage. It's something to do. It's amazing when you're just starting out and you got these people feeling what you're doing and you like in the zone, and then you get these people, they look like they're fussing at you, but they actually applauding to you, and you got to keep your composure. You got to make sure you just can't pay attention to what they're doing.
Right.
I'm thinking,
right.
they just wailing on it, and then they're fussing like, yeah, play that thing. And I'm like, okay, is he fussing? But no, hey, music is a journey, man. It's all about what you put into it. I just love the feedback I get from people and the energy what I put forth, and I like to see the energy come back.
Now, I've seen you play live in concert with the band, and you'll start out playing, like the guitar, the lead guitar, and then, in the middle of the song, you sit that down and you go and start playing on the keys, And then also tell people about the fact that, you've been known to play at, upscale malls and venues like that where people can come by and you tickling the ivory, man. And I don't know how you do it, man. I mean, because when I touch the keys,
that was my daytime job.
That was just a little something, but it's a beautiful thing when you can do what you love to do, and you do it, you're doing it at the club or you're doing it in concert and you're doing it, for people who are having a casual experience at restaurants or whatever, things like that. So people are able to enjoy your music. Now let's talk about your albums that you released, your CDs. What was the first one that you released, and when did you release that?
That was 2007, In My Life. That was
okay.
CD. That was the first CD.
Name of the CD was In My Life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm doing with that one was I just was felt, I prayed before I even messed with this thing. And I prayed for the peace to come upon everyone that hears that. And I tell you, I kid you not, every time someone have some type of strife in their household or something, and it's from different sources, this from different people, tell me they put on the CD.
So you did the first CD, you released that in 2007, and then when was the next release?
2018.
Wow, big gap, because you did say on and off. But you know what? You self-produce, is that right? You produce as well, right?
Yeah, I do what I want.
Yeah. So you got the freedom. So, and then now you've just released a new one. Tell me about that. What's that one called? Transformation?
Yes.
Okay, so what can we expect from this one? How many cuts you got on this one?
It's already happened here right now, 2020.
So if I want to get a sample of that music, if I want to buy the CD album, is it on like all of the different outlets, Spotify, iTunes? How can I go about getting it?
Only exclusively from my website, which is DamonTerrell.com.
Ah, okay.
You can only get transformation through me.
I like the way you put that. You can only get I thought you could get transformation through God, through Jesus. You said only transformation through you, but if you just joined us, he's not claiming to be the Christ or the Antichrist. He's saying that you can get his musical compilation, a CD, an album called Transformation, and the only way you can get it is to go through him or his website, which is DamonTerrell.com. It's on the screen. He's my guest today. Listen, if you have any questions for him, any comments, go ahead and throw those up in the chat. And, I will pass those questions on. He can actually see the questions. I did get a correction earlier. I did say Lake Michigan. And, of course, my good buddy Felicia Bell let me know that would be Detroit River, so, we were talking about Shane Park. So, yeah, that's cool. So, yeah, man, listen, we're looking forward to hearing what you got for us later on in the show. And listen, man, it's I already know what the people are in store for. But, guys, listen, you have to go to DamonTerrell.com. Make sure that you are getting, a copy of the album. it's it's a digital download, or are you sending people CDs? How does it work?
Both. You can either get a digital download and we email it to you, or you can get the actual physical CD. And we
Okay.
mail it to you.
Now, do I have to request that? Do I request that on the website? How does that work?
You request that through a link that they click on, and it's a link of a PayPal link, or I believe it's a PayPal link. Yeah.
Okay.
And, or email. Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool, man. Stick around. If anybody has any questions for you, any comments, things like that, you'll be backstage available to answer those questions later. We'll bring you back on so you can play live for us, and go ahead and tune up the guitar and whatever else you're going to do, and we will follow back up with you soon. So thank you for coming on and just giving us a little bit of information. I mean, there's so much more we could have dug into and talked about, but our time is limited, and really what it's sort of like the people who can sing and dance and all that. It's like, yeah, we want to know about you, but what we really want to do is we want to hear and see your talent. So we're going to save the bulk of our time for you to let you do what you do. And then, by the way, how I always ask, if you ever, want me to come on in the band and, do a little something, I play chopsticks really well. So anyway, we can talk about that off screen.
Somebody play cowbell.
You need somebody to play what?
Cowbell.
Cowbell. That's how you gonna do me? All right, man. On that note, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks. We will get back with you at the later part of the show. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, as you can see, I've been reduced to playing Cowbell by my man Damon Terrell. He is a funk, Latin, jazz recording artist. His information is on the screen, DamonTerrell.com. He's going to come back later in the show and play a little something for us. But coming up next, I've got a man that's doing something in the community that is so needed right now. Everybody knows what's going on. I mean, if you got a pulse, you know what's going on. And so I'm going to introduce him right after I give you some information that's going to revolutionize those of you who use voiceovers. Pay attention to this.
Hollywood and big corporations are promoting their brand with professional voiceovers. Why aren't you? Look, I get it. Adding a professional voiceover to your content can be expensive. Until now, I've recorded 500 of the most popular lines used in voiceover promos and intros and bundled them into a package called Voice Drops. Drag and drop voiceover clips. For a limited time, you can get Voice Drops for only $39.97, a fraction of what it would cost for one voiceover. It's easy. Select and download the clips you want, drag and drop them to your timeline, and that's it. Click the link for a free tutorial and instructions.
All right, so you got that? All right, so that is for those of you who are doing live streams, if you're doing podcasts, if you're doing YouTube, if you're doing intros, promos, if you got clients. This is a template or a pre-recorded voiceover lines that are commonly used in Hollywood, TV, and all those things that I just named, where if you wanted to take your production or your content to another level, and you really can't afford to pay a voiceover person every time you go on, what you can do is you can get these commonly used lines. There's over 500 different lines and words. In addition to that, each one is read at least three different ways. Some of them are read 8 different ways with different inflections, different cadence and pace and pitch and all of that, so that you can drop these into your project. And just like when I came on, your intro to your thing might say, this Friday, get ready. That all those types of lines are involved in this bundle. And then if you needed to get something custom, say you needed me to say the name of your business or something like that, then you could, pay for that part, but that will be a small portion, but you'd have the lion's share of all of the other common lines that are being said. All right, so enough about that. Let me go ahead and introduce my next guest. I have to look over and click this and click that because we need to be able to hire some other people to do these other things. So let's get right to it. My next guest is on a mission to unite absentee fathers back to their children. In 2013, he started his nonprofit organization, F.A.R.M, which stands for Family Assistance for Renaissance Men. I like that name, Family Assistance for Renaissance Men, which takes a holistic approach to restoring men to their families and making them productive in their communities. When I say a holistic approach, I mean they're They're training them on jobs so they can have some job skills and get paid a decent wage to be able to contribute to the livelihood and the well-being of their children. In some cases, they restore those relationships with the mothers and at least a way that they can be relational in a positive way for the sake of the child. And so they help them with the courts. And I don't want to give it all away because I'm going to let him tell the story. They got programs on and on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Willie Bell. Uh-oh, wait a minute. There he is. Wait a minute. We got to get the claps going, man. There he is. How are you, sir? How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed by the best. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good. First of all, thank you for coming on the show. If there's any type of person that I need to interview in this hour, I mean, you're like the poster guy for that. You know, we spent time and we will continue to spend time having discussions on the climate and the culture and what's happening in the United States and around the world. And those discussions need to continue in a positive and healthy way. But at some point, you know, we need to include in some of those discussions, or at least put next to those discussions, you know, what are we doing? What are the things that we can control that will help us internally to be able to make progress towards positive change? So why don't we just kick off in the beginning and just allow you to just share, you know, how this whole thing got started and why?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me do this. Let me give recognition to today's date, Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth Day, okay? Because without us, you know, our history and our ancestors being free and knowing that they are free, we wouldn't have the freedom to do what we're doing today. So I just wanted to make recognition to that, okay? So yeah, Family Assistance for Renaissance Men. Now, the name of this organization is Family Assistance. It's not Father Assistance, it's Family Assistance for the man that want to have a renaissance in his life. And so for the man that wants to have a renaissance in his life, we have many tools to help him. Now, every man is not in the same scenario. Every man is not, it's not a cookie cutter type of situation where every man is a deadbeat dad, or every man is has run away from his obligations. You know, there's many situations where, you know, the relationships have gotten strained. And so, you know, the father and the mother weren't able to work it out because they just didn't understand each other, and the children are stuck in the middle. So there's many situations where, you know, men, as you said earlier, did a very good job in introducing the program. But, you know, there's situations where men lose their jobs. And because they lose their jobs, they lose the ability to be able to support their families and support their children. And because of that, then, you know, the mother get upset because there's no money coming in. And then she takes the man to child support court. And the longer a man goes without having any kind of income paid toward that child support, here in the state of Michigan in particular, you get a warrant put on your back. That's the first thing that happens. They remove your driver's license privileges from you. And then from there, it progresses to a felony non-support case. Okay, federal case. All right.
So let me just jump in real quick. So you've articulated well a lot of the issues, and I know there's even more because, you know, I'm familiar with the organization in terms of the challenges that these men face as it relates to, you know, them not being in the home, not being with the child support. A lot of times, a lot of those behaviors are kind of connected. Not that they must happen, but typically, you know, we see in a lot of these situations that they have a lot of the issues that are related to them not, you know, providing child support, you know, like you said, with the jobs and education and all those types of things. And so I wanted to fast forward to what type of support. And when I say support, I'm not talking about people donating as much as I am the entities that have partnered with you. What type of support and partnerships have you developed over the years to help with the holistic approach to this organization?
So this is a good opportunity for me to honor the sponsors who have contributed to the nonprofit organization. We still haven't gotten to the place where we want to be. We're not a United Way. We're not a Focus Hope. You know, we don't bring that kind of money in because we're still fairly new to the funding world. However, we have gotten contributions from DTE Energy Foundation. And so they continue year after year to support us. We gotten contributions from the Balmer Group. Most of you may know this name by the man Steve Ballmer, who is the owner of the LA Clippers, and so you know, and also co-founder of Microsoft. And so right now they funded us, and we just got word that that's a new funding entity. The McGregor Fund were very integral in supporting us as well. And then we have the unions. We have the Carpenters Union, the Laborers Union, the Roofers Union, and while I'm speaking about these partners, these are some of the areas where we actually get jobs through as well, through the Carpenters Union, the Laborers Union, and the Roofers Unions as well. So we're constantly bringing aboard more and more sponsors and more partners, community partners, to help us help these men and help these fathers move forward in their lives, so these children aren't repeating the cycle of fatherlessness. And quite frankly, it starts with the lack of education. Because if the man is not in the house, or if the man is not even in the children's life, then he is without the guidance, the proper guidance, to even know that he's on the wrong track. And so therefore he is destined to do all the things wrong, go out there in the street, hang out, chase women, get high, and become unproductive in society and to his family.
Yeah, when you speak education, you're educating them on, you're not talking about education like math, reading. You're talking about educating them on the system, educating them on the opportunities they have available, educating them on the damage that they're doing to their child, educating them on the situation.
Yeah, so it's kind of in reverse, right? First of all, let me say this. The Bible tells us that the fathers, that we are the teachers. We are your counselors of the family. We are the priests of the family. We should be the spiritual leaders. We should be the one that's helping with homework and just helping those children along as they develop coming up in the world, right? We should be those, but as a society, we've gotten away from those principles. And here in the F.A.R.M program, we bring those principles back. Okay, we bring those principles back because, like you said, it's not teaching them some of the things that you mentioned, but what it really is teaching them foundational principles for them to live by. And so we guide them. We as I said, we do it in reverse. We have to take the man who was a boy who grew up into a man's body, right? But he's still and I was in that situation as well, because when I heard the man upstairs tell me to write this program, I was coming up out of the situation that we're teaching these men to come up out of. But we're feeling the spirit, and we're feeling the inside of the man because he was still a boy kind of in his thinking, because he was never guided in the first place in how to properly become a man.
Well, if you're just joining us, my guest right now is Willie Bell. He is the founder and CEO of F.A.R.M, which stands for Family Assistance for Renaissance Men. And we're talking about all the wonderful things that this organization does to help men and families, as he stated earlier, to get kind of on track for the sake of the child primarily, and there's a holistic approach. I want to talk about the court system and how they've partnered with you. Speak to that, if you would.
Yeah. So that's good. So we have now 29 judges that support us across the state of Michigan right now. The bulk of them are in Wayne County. Wayne County has 80% of the deficit, if you will, in terms of child support. There is $7 billion owed in child support arrearages in the state of Michigan alone. $7 billion. Okay, and that represents the thousands of men out there who may have a felony warrant attached to them until they actually have their day in court, but most of them keep running. So when they run, the court says until they get in here and pay this money, they're going to have this felony warrant on their backs. And we may catch you driving down the street illegally because they've taken your driver's license from you. And when they do, they go to court by themselves if they're not in a program like this. Family Assistance for Renaissance Men. We have 10 attorneys in the program helping us help these men with their legal issues. And most of the guys know that if you try to go before the law by yourself, you don't have the right verbiage, you don't have the right language, you don't have the right representation for yourself. So we come in there, we represent with you. If not, F.A.R.M ourselves, our attorneys. And in most cases, we go to court with you as well. So you have two other people in court beside yourself. You have your attorney and you have F.A.R.M representing you as a character witness for you.
That's
telling
powerful.
the courts and showing the courts and the judges, how you're transforming and how you got into this situation in the first place, right? So, and let me do this, Vince, while we're at it. I want to march it down because I know we don't have so much time, but there's 5 components to this program.
Okay.
The mentoring part of the program is the piece that is the most major piece. The word says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so how can you expect a man to change his ways if all he's been taught and everything he's seen has been things from the hood, or, he wakes up every day and he walks out and all he sees is burned down, boarded up houses, grass is not cut and all that. How can you expect him to think about anything else and changing anything else? Because that's what he's grown up into. I liken it to this, a man like Tarzan, okay? Can you imagine Tarzan in today's age, here in the hood? So you grow up and you don't know any better. That's exactly the way these men are. I was a Tarzan at one point. Okay, so that's why we can take all the components and transform these men and get their minds back on track. And it doesn't take long for many of them. They already know that something's wrong, and they're hungry for hope. They're hungry to add value to their lives. They're hungry to add purpose and meaning to their lives, so they can add meaning and purpose to their children's lives.
Mm-hmm. And so you mentioned there were 5 components. Run those down.
So you have the mentoring, you have the father-child relationship building part of the program, where that's where we have social workers in the program to communicate between the mothers and the fathers for the sake of making sure those children are stuck in the middle. We have our skill building and education. You alluded to that earlier. The skill building and education, we partner with the Detroit Land Bank. We take the vacant houses, beginning with the first one a year and a half ago, and we transform those homes. We rehab those homes, teaching the men coming into the program a pre-skilled trade introductory skill: plumbing, electrical, drywall, paint, the whole 9 yards. Many of these men coming to the program have never picked up a hammer. Okay, most guys have never picked up a hammer before. They grab a hammer right in the middle of the handle, and they go to hammer the way they miss. It's trying to fit right. There's a proper way to use a hammer.
And you assume everybody knows how, but yeah, if you've never done it, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
Okay, that's 3. Yep.
Yeah, the 4th component is our legal component. We just got finished talking about that with our judges and lawyers. And then our 5th component is the housing. So the housing component, many of these guys come to the program, they're living in their cars, they're living in vacant houses, they're living in the street. Okay, just like Tyler Perry or some of these other guys that have gotten famous. They had to live it. They were homeless before they became famous. So we don't know who out of the lot of these guys that's going to be famous, but we do know that there's some great guys coming out of our programming, and will be great. And some of them are even coming back and becoming mentors themselves. So that's the 5 components of the program.
Okay. Yeah, connection looks like it's getting a little weak there. I'm seeing some pixelation. Hopefully that straightens up a little bit. But I wanted to ask the question, so how does somebody get involved if you know of somebody who could benefit from this program, or if you're somebody yourself who could benefit, what do they do? Do they just go to the website? Do they make a call? How does that work?
That's good. That's good. I see you have the website there, and farm-mi.org. Go into the website, look for the application. Go to the application, fill the application out. Once you fill that application out, we will get back in touch with you to let you know when the next interview process happens. We have a 90% program success rate, a 90% overall program success rate, and it's mainly due to the fact that we screen you coming in. We're not going to take anybody off the street that just wants us to get their ticket straight, get their driver's license back, and let you go on about your business. No, we want to know that you really, truly, sincerely want to turn your life around and want to be a father figure for your children sincerely. And once we realize that, then we will invite you into the program and let you know when the next program starts. So Family Assistance for Renaissance Men, FARM-MI.org.
Once again, real quick, everybody, this is Willie Bell. He is the CEO and founder of Family Assistance for Renaissance Men, which is FARM. And if you just tuned in, and you're missing a lot of the great information, but you can go to farm-mi.org. It's on the screen. We have a question here from Denise. She says, how can those of us in the community support your work? Great question.
Thanks, Denise. So you can support our work by, sending in a check, or you can go to PayPal and donate that way. Or you can actually volunteer, because we can always use other tradespeople. In the training program, we receive and we're teaching our men using skilled trades professionals, masters, journeyman, and apprentice, to teach these men how to learn how to become skilled. So that's another way. And another way is to come and volunteer as a mentor, or whatever services that you may have. You may have some skills that we don't even know about that we may need. But let us know what you have to offer, and we'll be willing to take a look at that and see if it's a good fit for us and for the men coming into the program.
Melanie says, much needed program everywhere. Definitely needs to be exposed on all platforms. Thanks for your much needed work. That's very encouraging. And so right now, this program is exclusively in Michigan. Is that right?
It is. But we do expect to scale at some point. As I just got finished mentioning my sponsors, the only way we can scale is that we gain more traction with funding. Right now, we're getting people that's coming from all over Michigan metro area, particularly. We're getting people coming into the program from Romulus, from Pontiac, from Inkster, Westland. We've even gotten people who called from Washtenaw County, which was surprising to me. But that just tells me how desperate these men are for change. Every man is not a bad man. And, as we've come to realize, a lot of these guys, they just don't know. And you don't know what you don't know until you're taught, until you're transformed. And that's why it's called the Renaissance Man. We want to put a renaissance and make Renaissance men out of as many possible men that we possibly can.
Is there a spiritual component to this program?
There is. That's the foundational piece. Thanks for mentioning that. I don't know how I missed that piece right there, but our mentoring is rooted. The reason I even started the program is because I heard the man upstairs tell me to write this program to help other men like he helped me, right? And how he helped me was I was completely down and out with lost my job. I had maxed out credit cards. I had a house note, car note, child support. I had everything coming at me, and unemployment was ending. And I'll tell you what, Vince, when you're in a situation like that and there's no jobs to be found, because I was around Reaganomics times, there's no jobs to be found, okay? That is hopelessness all over again. And you feel the walls coming in on you, and you turn into a place of, depression, and you just have no idea what to do, where to go. If you don't know God, well, where are you going to get the information from? How are you going to be able to transform? You can't transform yourself.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I turned to God, man, and everything's turned around from that point. And I added the principles from the Bible into our mentoring program. And so that helps the man transform his mind.
Well, there's no question that you guys are doing fabulous work with your leadership, keeping the spiritual element as the core foundation of everything else that you teach. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've if you want to get more information, the information is there on the screen, and you can go to farm-mi.org or give them a call at 313-717-2882 if you want to volunteer, if you want to donate, if you want to bring a skill set, if you want to be a mentor. All of those things are available to you, or if you know of someone or you want to participate in the program, then you want to go to the website and fill out the application as well. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Quickly, 18701 Grand River, Suite 173 is the address, 48223. That's 18701 Grand River, Suite 173, 48223.
18701 Grand River.
Yes.
Is that what you said, in Detroit?
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
18701 Suite 173, 48223. They can send donations there as well.
All right. So if they go to that address and they'll see a banner or something like that that says F.A.R.M, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Willie Bell. But coming up next, I've got my guy coming back, Mr. Damon Terrell. He's going to well, first of all, let me back up. I want to thank Willie Bell once again for coming and sharing with us all the great things that this organization is doing. And stick around, Willie Bell, just in case anybody has some questions that I did not get to. I want you to be able to come back on and answer those questions. And then we will do that with Damon and with Willie right after the live performance by Mr. Damon Terrell. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to hear my man Damon do what he does right after this. Content creators, I'm about to do for you what I've done for Hollywood and big corporate clients for over 30 years. Pay close attention to the voice on this 8-second clip.
It's mystical bond between man and machine. Every adventure has a beginning. Bumblebee, in theaters December 21st.
That's me using my voice to promote a film that grossed hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, I'm not suggesting that it was because of me that they grossed that much. But what I am saying is that they invested millions of dollars to promote their film. And if they trusted me with their brand, so can you. You see, Hollywood and big corporations understand that they need a professional voiceover to represent their brand. Shouldn't you? However, it can cost hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars for one voiceover. Until now. I've taken over 30 years of voiceover experience and packaged it into one bundle called Voice Drops. Drag and drop voiceover clips. Now you can get 500 of the most classic and commonly used voiceovers for your project for pennies on the dollar. Select the clips you want, drag and drop them into your project, and you've got a professional voiceover to represent your brand. It's just that simple. Here's the best part. The regular price for the Classic 500 is less than what you would pay for one voiceover. But as an introductory offer, I'm going to give it to you for 60% off for a limited time at $39.97. Each voiceover clip is read multiple times with different styles and inflections. What else is there to say? Get your voiceover clips now. Hey everybody, Vince Elliott saying thank you for tuning in. Real quick, I wanted to invite you to become partners with us and contribute to our success. Our success is your success. One way that you can do that is by subscribing to our YouTube page, The Vince Elliott. Click on the notification so that you are notified when we go live or upload new content. Secondly, please share this broadcast with your family, friends, contacts, Craig and them, Cud and them, share with everybody. Lastly, you can contribute to the success of the broadcast with a financial contribution of only $1.25 a week, $5 a month, or $60 contribution for the year by using the Cash App information that's on the screen, $ live with Vince Elliott. So thank you for helping us to bring information, education, inspiration, motivation, and yes, a few laughs to the world. Oh. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in the voice drops, you can say, well, where do I go to get the voice drops? You go to ngpnow.com/music, and you can find all about the voice drops and get all the information that you need from there. There's a tutorial, there's instructions, the whole nine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. Without further ado, Damon Terrell. Ladies and gentlemen, Damon Terrell. That was fire. Man, let me bring you back up here, man. Come on, man. Let me bring Willie Bell back up here. Oh, my goodness. That was a fire, hot, off the chain, whatever you want to call it, man. That was, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you see it on the screen. DamonTerrell.com. You need to go to DamonTerrell.com and get this transformation album. It's going to transform your life. Pop that in your car, put it on your phone, all of that type of thing. So, man, thank you so much for that. And then Willie Bell, we got people saying that they're watching F.A.R.M's growth. It's impressive, and people are really loving what you're doing. You guys are really doing something, I mean, that really can help the community. It helps people's minds, their soul, their spirit. I mean, this is what the show is all about, man. It's information, education, inspiration, motivation, and, you know, every now and then I throw in a laugh or two, but, you know, what you guys are doing, you keep doing it, man. You're passionate about what you do. I love your expertise. I love your professionalism. Anything you guys want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, I just want to say that, Black lives do matter, right?
Absolutely.
Black lives matter. Black lives matter also when you help yourself, okay? If we aren't helping ourselves as an African-American community, then why would anybody else have interest in helping us either?
Yeah,
why would anybody want to help us if we're sitting on our laurels saying, you know, hey, you know, just bring it over to me. Give me some welfare money, right? Nobody wants to help somebody that just wants to sit there and do nothing with it.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to help yourself, other people will be willing to jump in, just like the fight you see that's going on out there with Black Lives Matter movement right now. I'm so proud and happy to see that there's many other cultures out there helping walk this walk, fight this fight, to transform our world as we knew it, because change is here. Mm-hmm. And we're helping that, and we're helping our families and helping our men get back on track of leading their families.
Absolutely. Well said. Damon, any last words?
Stay true to who you
I can't hear you. Come on, Damon.
Stay
There you
true
go.
to who you are. Continue to walk in wisdom, be wise, and stay safe.
All right.
Damon, that was some slamming stuff, by the way, man. I have a music background. I just never played anything.
Wait a minute. How do you have a music background but never played nothing? And I heard you sing, and I know you're not referring to that. Maria Sepulveda says, love you and your commitment to dedication to the cause, brother Willie Bell. Yes, sir.
Maria. Well, let me explain that. The background is I was a radio personality. Like yourself, I did voiceovers, I did radio, I did television. And so, I still dabble in that right now. But I was also a judge for the Budweiser Superfest way back in the day. I can appreciate good sounding music, man. So that was awesome. I was enjoying it.
Well, Melanie says more. Well, I'll tell you what, how you can get more. You can get more if you go to DamonTerrell.com and go ahead and get the full album. Yeah, man. So people are digging it, man. And your style of music and your what you bring to it, man, is really nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any other questions, please, throw us some comments in the chat real quick. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And then if you don't get your question answered, you don't get it up in time and we sign off, then you definitely know what to do. If you want to reach out to Damon, you go to DamonTerrell.com. And you can, find out any additional information. You can get the album. I would imagine that you can get the other albums on there as well. Is that true, Damon? Are the albums on there? Yes. Okay. All right. And then if you want to find out more about F.A.R.M, you go to farm-mi.org. And then the telephone number's there on the screen as well. And then they're located in Detroit, Grand River, Detroit. And that suite again is what?
173.
173. We didn't get that on the screen, but I think that's it, fellas. You guys did a great job. I appreciate you, going and taking your time to come on and share your passions with us. Melanie says, I already logged on. She is already going over there to DamonTerrell.com, or I guess one of the two, DamonTerrell.com or F.A.R.M. I don't know. She might be going to both of them. Maria, thank you. She says, Vince, thank you for making a difference. I just like bringing attention and exposure to things that's going to make a difference, having these conversations to make a difference in our culture, our community, and our society. So, without further ado, I just want to remind you guys, without being too overbearing, this show's continued success, continued growth, ability to stick around is based on your support. And when I say support, that's many ways. It's your prayers. It's you coming on watching. It's you sharing and letting people know about what we're doing. And then, of course, one of the obvious ways is your financial support. So I'm going to get that on the screen here shortly so that you can know what the Cash App is. Please, what we're looking to do is get people to give $1.25 per week, or $5 a month, or $60 a year. You do the math; it's real simple. And so, if we get X number of people to do that, then we can continue to improve these shows and to and to continue to give people great information. So, and that's what it's all about. Cash App's on the screen. $ live with Vince Elliott. If you have any concerns, questions, or some guests that you would like to see on, if you would like to be on the show, and we want to talk to you, you can just go to that email, thevinceelliott@gmail.com, and that is it. We are at 59 minutes and some change, and I am pretty proud of myself that we're ending the show exactly on time, 1 hour. So once again, I will leave you with the information, how to contact us and how to support the show on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our time. Once again, Willie Bell of F.A.R.M, thank you. Damon Terrell, musician extraordinaire, thank you. And we are signing off.